Hey yo, everybody! Y'all know what it is, man. SOS Wrestle Talk coming back at y'all once again for another show preview. This time we have AEW All in 2026, which will be happening in Wembley Stadium in London, England, August 30th, 2026. This Sunday of this recording, and one half of us here right now will be going to said show. So I wish I could say it was me, but it's my brother from another mother, LK. So LK, man, you're going to be in the building for this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a fat while since I've been to a wrestling show live. I think the last time I went to one would have been the first All In. I think that's about 2023. That's the last time I went, so I'm mega looking forward to it. There'll be a group of four of us going, three of my best mates. So it's going to be a really good weekend. So it's Thursday, is this recording on Friday night after work, going out with a partner, going for a meal, have some drinks. And Saturday, 3 p.m., it's our soccer team. I'll call it soccer, what a disgrace. Our football team's playing. So we've got tickets. We'll go to that again, have some drinks. And then Sunday morning, started early. We're catching a train, an hour train. Me and my mate, who we live close together. It's an hour train journey to meet two of our other mates, and then we're all going in the car. We managed to find a parking spot 10 minutes away from Wembley, and more importantly, 10 minutes away from the pub. So we're getting there for about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Gonna have some drinks there till doors open at 3:30. And I, for one, am mega excited for this weekend. Looking forward to this preview. Get myself excited, hopefully. And yeah, hopefully it's a good show. It's an early start for you in America, isn't it? If you want to watch All In live.
Yeah, I believe it starts about, I want to say the pre-show, I think starts around 11:30 a.m. I'm going to have to check to verify that, but it does start pretty early. I'm actually going to be going to an all-in breakfast brunch party and watching this, so we will have different viewing experiences, but we will enjoy the show nonetheless. So we might as well get into this, LK, because we got some stuff to talk about. This actually for an AEW match card, which I can appreciate. They've toned down the number of matches because usually for an AEW card, you're used to getting like 10 and 12 matches here, including the pre show. You got 9 matches, but main card, you get 8 matches. So it's not a bad number, and a lot of these matches are going to get a lot of time. So that's something for us to look forward to right there.
Yeah, and I believe they said the show will be no longer than 4 hours, that being the main show. So I'm happy about that. Because obviously getting out of London is going to be tricky. Actually, no, because we're driving, so it won't be tricky. But you don't want it to finish at kind of midnight, 11 p.m. It's sort of, by the time you get home, it'll be 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And, they did it on a good day because it's a national holiday on the Monday. So they did pick a good time. But yeah, good amount of matches, and hopefully it does go 4 hours, as TK said.
Oh, no, in TK, I think it will. Hopefully we get it exactly 4 hours because we know how you can be. So, the first match we got, which is on the pre-show, this is a Casino Trios Royal Roulette for the AEW World Trios Championships right here. So we got the reigning champions, that being the good, bad, and the ugly Hangman Page, Brodito, Bandito, and Brody King, taking on Bullet Club Gold, Bang Bang Gang, whatever you want to call them, Jay White, Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn, which I will say on a sidebar, I am a little upset that Jay White is not in the Continental Cup final, but I'll get to that when we get to that match. They're going to be also taking on the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. We got the Death Riders team in there, Claudio Castagnoli, Pac Wheeler Yuta. We got the Demand, Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. We got the dogs, the war dogs, whatever you want to call them, that being David Finley, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kennedy. We also have a wild card entrant. I think I know who the wild card entrant is, but before who I think it is, okay, I want to hear who you think it is, and I want to say who you think is going to win the match.
So I think the wild card will be, I think it'll be the New Day, and I think they'll do it so it's the last team left to enter as the pay-per-view starts, and that's when the New Day come out. The question is, who will be with them? That's the big question. Again, that's not confirmed. It could be the fucking machine guns. Full well could be Motor City Machine Guns and someone else. You just don't know. But it'll be fun. It's like, they love these casino roulette, gets everyone on the show. And, back in the day, this would have been a battle royal. Like before Mania, they used to do a battle royal. So I'm up for this. You got a lot of talent in there. So it'll be a fun watch. Prediction wise, I, I I reckon the champs will retain. But more importantly, they have AEW have so many titles, so it's good, and they have so many wrestlers. So it's good that they're actually putting emphasis on the trios titles.
100%. I think the pre-show is a good utilization of those belts here. And as far as who I think the wild card entrant's going to be, I think I'm kind of going to agree with you. I think it is going to be the New Day, but it could even be who would you say, the Machine Guns. I'm going to go kind of another route, and I might be 100% wrong on this, but I'm like, even though they said they didn't really want to have any gold anymore, I could very well see it being the Hurt Syndicate as well. I could see them kind of just hopping in there because you wouldn't expect Swerve to team with those guys. Swerve and the Hurt Syndicate is who I think is who might be, but it's probably going to be the New Day and Swerve. But if it's not, I would probably say Swerve and the Hurt Syndicate. But as far as who wins, if it's the New Day and Swerve, they're probably going to win the match. If it's not them, then I'm going to say that the Ring of Champions, that being the... Actually, you know what? I changed that. I think the Bang Bang Gang is going to win. I think they're going to... I think because since Jay White didn't... Yeah, I think they're going to win since Jay White didn't get that Continental Cup win. I think the Bang Bang Gang's taking it home.
That's a really good shout. And I forgot this Swerve will be teaming with whoever debuts. So hopefully it's the New Day. I think, to debut at Wembley would be pretty damn awesome. It would get a massive pop. And also it helps the trios division and the tag division. But I think if it is the Hurt Syndicate, I think they'd be stupid to put that as a wild card. They could have just announced that. That's sort of one of those where we hear that music, it'll be it'd be like, because it'd be like when Punk came back in Chicago. Everyone was like, "Oh, Punk's coming back in AEW." It was like, "Oh, it's gonna be Punk. It's gonna be Punk." Imagine if it wasn't Punk, you'd be like, "Oh." So they've kind of in the anticipation for the New Days there, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they fare in AEW. Obviously, it does help that they have a very good tag division, and you just add them with FTR, Edge and Christian, the Young Bucks. You got so many teams, the Guns, you got loads of teams. So Touchwood is the New Day, but oh man, you put that down. If I hear the Hurt Syndicate, just know I'll be cursing your name.
Hey man, it's all good. I'm just saying, I could see it happening. But I don't, just because I think it might be the Hurt Syndicate teaming with Swerve does not mean that I don't think that the New Day will not be making an appearance at the show. So that's, I'm going to talk about that a little later as well. So then as we look at the rest of the card, okay, I'm just going to go kind of by least importance right here. And this is no disrespect to the ladies, but this is how those titles are booked. So for the AEW Women's World Tag Team titles, we got the Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne and Lena Kross taking on the Brawling Birds, Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter. I think this is pretty much an easy call. I think the Brawling Birds are likely winning this match considering where this match is taking place. Divine Dominion have been okay champs. I mean, they've done the best with what they've been, given, and which is a lot of squash matches, which, I mean, sometimes that works, but it's just like at some point they gotta kind of have a competitive match, but that's neither here nor there. And this one I think will be competitive, but I got the Brawling Birds ultimately, LK, walking out of Wembley Stadium, the new women's tag team champions.
Yeah, I mean, I expect it to be alright, as you said. And when it comes to importance, it's no disrespect to the ladies, it's how it's booked. If I had to close my eyes and break down this card, I don't think I'd even think of that. And again, that's no disrespect. It's just one of those where it's kind of happening. But it should be alright. Windsor and Jamie Hayter both from England, so they'll get a pop at least. And yeah, this will be a match. I just don't want to be disrespectful.
No, I get it 100%. You know, it'll give the fans a little fan service right here by having the hometown girls walk away with the titles. And then I kind of had to toss up because I guess I'm going to go do the. I don't do it by because it's kind of weird for me with the AEW mid card titles. I kind of rank them by who holds them, which is I think ultimately the goal when you really think about it. So the next one I have is for a Falls Count Anywhere match for the AEW TNT Championship. We got Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin right here. They've been kind of having their feud started back at what was it, Double or Nothing. I believe Kevin Knight hit Darby Allin with a splash when he was on a stretcher. Joins the Don Callis family, wins the TNT Championship. He gets a bag exploded in his face at Forbidden Door. Does Kevin Knight? So they've had a feud since then, and I think this is probably the culmination of this feud. And my thing is, I'm like, who needs this victory more? Arguably, to me, Kevin Knight needs this victory more. Okay, and Darby Allin would be fine losing a match like this to Kevin Knight. So I got Kevin Knight walking out of here with the TNT title still.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think that's the smartest way of doing it. I think it would be a bit strange to have Darby win when it would mean a lot for Knight's career to beat him. Like I said, the rivalry's been decent. It's built since Darby Allin lost the world title and Kevin Knight came out, hit the frog splash off the top when he was on the stretcher. So there's some good build. There's a solid story to it. But yeah, you can even, and with Darby, he can lose because he does something stupid. He does something reckless. And I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a really fun match. It's going to be a really brutal match considering it's a Falls Count Anywhere, which is almost I don't want to say a forgotten match type, but it kind of is because people normally just lump the Falls Count Anywhere matches now with a no disqualification match. And it's like, why is it Falls Count Anywhere if the fans can't see everything that's not in the center of the ring? So it's kind of like, I'm glad they brought that stipulation here for that match. Next match we have, and like I said, it's kind of on the situation of importance, and I don't think neither of these matches are less important than the other. So it's just kind of like this card is actually really stacked. So shout out to AEW for this. And next match we got, it is for the Continental Championship, Continental Challenge Cup. It's for the AEW Continental Championship. We got Jon Moxley taking on Nigel McGuinness right here. So my grand vision of being the wonderful booker that I am, okay, is once this tournament was announced, I thought that we were clearly getting a Jon Moxley Jay White final because I think at some point you building up this monster that is Jon Moxley, and he has become a monster. Like, he is the monster in AEW. He's beating everybody at this point. And I'm just like, they have me questioning here, not really necessarily in a bad way, but it's kind of a good question. It's who's going to be the one to knock Jon Moxley off, man? Who's going to be the one to knock him off his perch? Because if I ain't trying to get too ahead, but if there's a title change in the main event and if he goes to challenge for that title and he loses, to me that's not the same as somebody taking his Continental belt away from Moxley. So it's going to be the one who takes his Continental belt. I don't think it's going to be Nigel McGuinness. I'm not upset that it's Nigel McGuinness. It's going to be a really good match because he still got it, even though he's not full time anymore. Nigel McGuinness has still got it, but I was like, I did want Jay White for selfish reasons, but it kind of leaves me questioning, okay, this is going to be a good match, okay, but what are we going to get after this? But of course, I got Moxley winning.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's probably to get McGuinness on the card. And he does deserve a good big one-on-one match in a stadium, especially in his home country. So from that standpoint, I'm happy with it. And it's just to confirm, it's not for the belt as well. It's just for the Continental Cup, correct?
Oh, I thought it was for the championship as well. I mean, I get no. It says it's for the Continental Challenge Cup for the AEW Continental Championship, so the belt is on the line.
Oh, okay. So pretty much guarantee then that Moxley's gonna win. But yeah, I'm the same as you. I think Jay White would have been a more interesting match. I feel if this wasn't in England, that's the match we would get. I feel this will be Moxley wins, and at All Out, that will be where Jay White defeats Jon Moxley for the Continental Championship.
Hey, I'd be all for that because beating John. That's why I was talking about earlier. To me, as far as the mid card titles, I even forgot about the national title, which I'm about to lead into a match with the champion of that belt. I even forgot about that. Is I think they've done a really good job, and to me, Moxley is done a really good job with the. I said that like 4 times. Whatever. I don't care. He's done well with the Continental Championship because since he's got it, to me, he's kind of established a hierarchy in the mid card title situation, at least with his belt. Because to me, since Moxley is the dude in AEW like that, he might not be the AEW champion, but he is the ace. Since he holds that Continental title, that's the most important mid card title in my especially with the rules and how it's constructed and how much stakes they put on the importance of beating the John Moxley. I'm like, well, that's the second most important title in AEW right now because who holds it? So I can give them credit for that. Even though I'm critical about with them sometimes, but I can at least give them credit for that. So, but yeah, speaking of the national championship, the champion that is, we got Andrade El Idolo taking on MJF, Tommaso Ciampa, Mark Davis, Chris Jericho, and participants to be announced in the men's casino gauntlet match for a future AEW World Championship shot. So my thing is, I don't know if there's going to be somebody who is never been in AEW. It's going to be a returning person. I'm interested to see who the participants are. So that's another thing I can give them credit for. LK is with matches like this, you're never quite really sure who is going to be in a match like this. I think Leo Rush is going to be in this. I just got a feeling because I think he's going to do some Blackheart stuff. I just kind of got that feeling. But beyond that, I'm kind of like, okay, who's going to do? We might get a couple in New Japan guys. Zack Sabre Jr. could pop off in there. Roya Oya, I know, is in England right now. He could pop off in there. So we could get some stuff like that happening as well. But before I get too long-winded, I'm going to kick it over to you before I tell you my winner. My winner is MJF because we got to put a rest to him having this championship walking around to it. He eventually, quote-unquote, has to actually get beat. So I got MJF winning this.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think MJF wins. And yeah, who on earth? If you're trying to think of some guys who've just recently left E, you got Dragunov. He could make an appearance. There's also Sheamus. He's not doing anything, and whether it's he does a full-time gig or he just does this one-off. It's Wembley. You can tick it off the bucket list. But again, he's from Ireland, so kind of not sure how he perceives Wembley. But yeah, so it is an interesting one. Hopefully, there's not loads of guys from not to be disrespectful, Ring of Honor, and just to get them on the show. I hope it's not. But yeah, I mean, you got Mark Briscoe, who can come in. I guess they could even reuse guys from the trios. You Hurt Syndicate, definitely. Probably chuck the Machine Guns in there if they're not in there. There's loads of people they could go with. But these ones are always fun, man. They're always so much fun. They've really mastered the casino gauntlet. And it'll be interesting to see MJF versus whoever wins. And if I'm right, do they get to cash that in any time they want? Like Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I think they have to give a week notice, but it's pretty much within a week. They'll let them know, but they can do it whenever it is within a week. That's how they're able to do that.
I thought it was similar to Money in the Bank because and I'm glad we've covered that because what I was thinking is going to happen is Ospreay's going to win and win the World Championship. Great moment. Everyone goes home happy. And then just as it's sort of like he's done celebrating the pyro, the streamers, then all of a sudden MJF's music hits and he cashes in, he walks out world champion. That's what I was going to predict. But obviously, with that not being the case, they have to give a week's notice, then that can't happen.
Which I actually think the week's notice thing is pretty dumb to me. I think that would be a very much way to get heat on MJF and a great way to end that. Well, I mean, we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, I think we're in agreement. MJF wins. As far as the guys who are going to be in it, like you said, it could be anybody. I'm sorry, Ring of Honor. We would rather have outs. Hey, I'd rather Great Okada be in there than Does anybody
No,
forgot this?
no.
Hey, we need some New Japan representation. So if he's over there, hey, I'm good with that. So it is Callum Newman. Hey, Hanari, Hanari's ready to go. He's probably texting Tony right now, talking about. He's just like, hey, Tony, I'm not doing anything Sunday, so why don't you let me come up there? But ultimately MJF wins. He's going to challenge for the belt, and this is pretty much when he does. Maybe he does it at All Out. We'll see. Who knows? Then we got for the AEW International Championship. It's a three-way match. We got the reigning champion Kyle Fletcher. Everybody's been a champion in this match. Konosuke Takeshita, the former champion, of course, the Rainmaker himself, Kazuchika Okada. This match is actually kind of difficult to predict. Actually, I think this is going to be the second work rate match of the night because we already know what the first work rate match is going to be. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but if I had to pick somebody winning, you know what? I think Okada's going to win this because I think this is a way for them, LK, to get the belt off Fletcher without him getting pinned. And what's probably going to happen here in the main event? Will Ospreay's going to need some challengers. Oh, I just gave it away, but whatever. He's going to need some challengers here in the future, and we all know Fletcher and Ospreay's history. So I think the Okada's going to pin Takeshita.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think this one could be fucking amazing. Up to this point, everything we've talked about this is the best match on the show. Based on kind of styles of enjoyment and me personally, what I enjoy watching. I'll be there rooting for Okada. As much as I love Takeshita, the fucking anytime you get to see Okada live, you gotta fucking grab that by the balls, especially in a big match. And I hope this gets given time. I was disappointed that it wasn't just Okada Takeshita, but you can't win them all. But Carl Fletcher's really good, and this one's gonna be fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna, as the kids say, slap, and I'm looking forward to that match. It's probably one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most. And right here, another match. It's maybe not. I'm not looking as much to looking forward to it as many people are. I think it's going to be a good match, but the result I already know who's going to win because the match result LK gives it away, and I'm gonna tell you about the next match next. We got for the AEW Tag Team titles, the World Tag Team Championships. We got Edge and Christian. I don't care. Edge and Christian, man, get mad at me. I don't care. Taking on the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, of course, in a standard match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. So what this tells me right here is that I think Cage and Cope are going to win. And I say that because they're going to need, the Bucks anyway, in their mind, are going to need a reason to want to challenge for these titles again. And once they challenge for these titles again, it's going to be in a stipulation match. And that stipulation match probably will be a variant of a ladder or TLC. So long story short, I got the Young Bucks winning this. Or I got Cage and Cope winning this match.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I think Bucks. I think the Young Bucks get the win, and you start to plant the seeds on the Edge and Christian turn, or the Christian turn. And then I think towards the end of this year, we're going to get Christian versus Edge, and that'll be it. That'll be retirement. That'll be them done. You also have the New Day. If they're not involved in that trios, they can come out. They could be the next challengers. Got FTR doing absolutely nothing. So there is, obviously, I don't particularly fancy Young Bucks against FTR again. They do like going to that well. But yeah, I'm going Bucks.
You just put an idea in my head, and I think it might happen before the year is over. And I don't know what show it's going to happen at, but I think this is going to take place. We're going to have a 4-way TLC match for those World Tag Team titles. Cage and Cope, Young Bucks, FTR, and a New Day. I just had this vision once you were just talking about it. Because I think, especially Cage and Cope, they kind of want to recreate that TLC thing that they did with the Dudleys and the Hardys, but they're like, got some younger teams we can do that with. So I got that feeling, okay, that's probably going to take place this year at some point.
Yeah, and it's a shame that Bully Ray's with E, because it'd been fun to see kind of the Dudleys involved. No, maybe obviously they've had their final match at Bound for Glory, and that should be that. That should be left alone. That's probably as good as they can get. No disrespect, but it'd be nice to have them in the crowd, just to be there. But yeah, that'd be pretty fucking awesome, and probably is something that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think so, man. And now we get to, looks like now we're at the semi-main event, and this is one of the matches I've gone back and forth on who I thought was going to win. And I honestly I'm like, I can make a case for both of these ladies. We got, for the AEW Women's World Championship, we got Willow Nightingale taking on Mercedes Moné, and these ladies, they've had a very storied history in their careers ever since Moné has left WWE. Moné actually lost the inaugural New Japan Strong Women's title to Willow Nightingale due to a broken ankle, which is very serious and almost cost her a career. She actually took the TBS title from Willow Nightingale, making her debut in AEW to Mercedes Moné, and then, of course, to kind of bring it all back around, Willow Nightingale took the belt from her. So Willow Nightingale beating Tekla for the title last month. Didn't really like that. I thought Tekla was on a very good run, and they arguably could have made this a triple threat match. And I forgot to mention this too, okay, before we delve forward into this match. I just noticed a lot of these matches are pretty standard. There's not a lot of gimmick style matches here on the show, which is very different. You either get a tag team match, singles match, you might get a battle royal, which is their mashup. There's not a very mix of stipulation style matches, which I noticed.
Yeah, maybe they can't be asked to go get weapons, which is fair enough. When Christian came out on Dynamite this week, and he talked about them creating the TLC match and having a pay-per-view named after them, I thought, oh fucking hell, this match is going to be a TLC. As you mentioned, that was a little tease for the future, I expect. But yeah, there's lots of standard matches, which I'm for that. Not fussed either way. It'll be expected that kind of the payoffs will be all out, so all the big weapon stuff can be there. We also don't know if there's rules on blood in Wembley. We kind of don't know if they've signed. No, that's bullshit. There's boxing there. There is boxing there. But you got Mercedes Moné, Willow Nightingale. I'm with you. It's torn. I do think Moné gets the win here, and I think we're going to get a lengthy reign. And I reckon Bayley's going to be the one to dethrone her. That's what I'm going with. I reckon Bayley's gonna leave the E. She's gonna jump ship. She's gonna become all elite, and I reckon she's gonna be the one to take the belt off Moné. And she hasn't had a women's world title run yet, so it'll be interesting to see. And interesting to see which way the crowd go. Do they cheer for the baby face, or do they cheer for the more established star? So either way, it'll be good. Good to see her back in kind of a really big, high-profile match, and hopefully these women can go out there and deliver.
Yeah, I think they will deliver. I think this will be an awesome match. Man, like you said, it's so hard to pick a winner right here because you can make a case for both ladies. I guess to be contrarian, I'm going to go with Willow Nightingale. I think Mercedes Moné is going to struggle a little bit more to get the title. Only reason I say that too, because if you kind of think about it, especially with the men's side, there's been a lot of hot potato lately for the world title. So I'm kind of thinking Tony at least wants to keep one of these titles on the champion, and I think Willow's going to win right here. So, yeah, I think Willow's winning, man. I want to go Mercedes, but I think Willow's getting a dub.
Yeah, that's more than fair. That's more than fair.
And two, now we are at the main event, ladies and gentlemen. So the main event for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, we have the reigning champion Kenny Omega on his second reign as champion. Of course, picking that title up from MJF right before the Redemption show, which I thought that's where he was going to win the belt at, but that's neither here nor there. And he's taking on Will Ospreay, the winner of the Owen Hart Cup. He was able to get the victory over a former AEW World Champion, Swerve Strickland, a man who we actually lost to for the title and Forbidden Door about 2 years ago. So brings us here. This is Will Ospreay's third match, I believe, at All In, especially in Wembley. I believe the first couple times he took on Chris Jericho, pretty much a special singles match. There was really no stakes on the line. It was just him wrestling Jericho in Wembley. Then the second time he went against MJF, the whole American title, international title angle, which I slightly enjoyed. I thought that's pretty fun. And now brings him to the main event right here for the World's Heavyweight Championship, which probably would have happened last year if his neck didn't get hurt, but that's neither here nor there. A part of me wants, before I kick it over to you, okay, part of me wants to pick Kenny Omega because I'm like, I know it just sounds crazy, but I'm like, man, he's not really, I don't think the Death Riders are really finished with him. I just got this weird feeling that they just kind of just are like looming over this, and I don't think they're totally finished with him. But sometimes the obvious is the obvious, and I think this the obvious is Will Ospreay winning the AEW title here. And now, if that happened, now if the Death Riders came in, I would be like, wow, that was a bold, that was actually a bold move by Tony to do that in the main event. If the Death Riders came in and allowed Kenny to win the match, so that's just something to look out for. I do think Will Ospreay is winning, but I will keep my eye out for that. So,
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's some good detective work there. That is some good detective work. That would be some insane heat if Moxley cost Ospreay the world title on Wembley. That would be insane heat. And then that leads you to Moxley Ospreay, and Ospreay could be the one to dethrone Jon Moxley. Is this a point now though where Ospreay's gotten mega popular, where it's sort of now or never? It's sort of the stars are kind of aligning. Hometown, home country, in a stadium, pay-per-view, won the Owen Hart Cup. It's sort of perfect, but then, like you said, is it too good to be true? It just depends, because TK might be looking at this going, right, if we want to come here again, we want to create a memory that's going to last forever, and will that piss some people off? Potentially. Depends how, the casual viewer will perceive it, especially if there's kids there, etc. But, I mean, firstly, I think this match is going to be bloody brilliant. What a main event for a pay-per-view. And like I said, the build's been pretty damn good. They haven't got too physical. And yeah, that's really thrown a wrench in the works, because they haven't been mentioned. And that's where it gets dangerous, because it's the ultimate Vince Russo swerve, bro. It really is. So if that does happen, and you've created this into the atmosphere, no, I don't know. It's an interesting one, because at one point the heat will be so good that Ospreay Moxley could main event the next pay per view, and then you got MJF Kenny Omega again. And if you do that at the next pay per view, give MJF the belt back, you can have Ospreay dethrone MJF at Revolution next year or anything like that. So if Ospreay MJF is again a big money match. So it all just depends, but that is a really good shout, and that's definitely something to look into.
hey, LK, I'm gonna bring up another scenario that was perfect. That was a perfect time. It was a perfect venue. It was a perfect. The ambiance was this amazing. It was back in 2017. There's a certain wrestler. This wrestler, he went ahead and won G1 Climax 27. I think you might know him. His name is Tetsuya Naito. I think you might be familiar with him. It's amazing momentum going to the Tokyo Dome against Kazuchika Okada. I, and Bunches, when we were recording at the time, we were certain that Tetsuya Naito was walking out of the Tokyo Dome with the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And then what happened? We recorded later, and I was in shambles. So I'm just saying, whenever it's never a too perfect a scenario, because Tony Khan is taken a little from Ghetto. I'm just saying, there's something. You know what? I'm actually going to change my pick. I'm actually saying that's what's going to happen. Fuck it. I'm saying that's what's going to happen.
I think you got a really good chance there. And what's really funny is the whole build up to that. I was just, because back in the day we used to. Oh, it's such a shame that YouTube deleted the channel with all the odd stuff on. Such a shame. It was, the story on the show was that you really wanted Naito to win. And I just wanted anyone who Naito ever faced to win, just because it was so entertaining to just go live. And you were such a huge, you are such a huge Naito fan. It was absolutely brilliant. And you know what's even funnier? How this comes full circle. You remember when we recorded that show? There was the famous Bret Hart flag in the background. When we recorded that exact show that January, I house sitted. I was house sitting, and one of the people that I'm going to All In is my mate who I house sit with him and his family went on holiday. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild, man. Hey, it brings it all full circle, man. That is insane. Okay, but yeah, I'm just saying, brother. We've seen it all in pro wrestling at this point, so we can't rule out anything. Hell, I was just watching on the Contender Series on UFC the other day. A plus 6,000 favorite won a fight. I'm like, bro, anything can happen. So I'm just like, okay. I'm like, anything can happen now. So no, everything's off the table. I think Kenny Omega is going to win with the alliance of the Death Riders, but I also could see another route, LK, to where the Death Riders still come out and Kenny Omega kind of being like, I think this whole time here with him and Ospreay, Kenny Omega is kind of forcing himself. He's kind of playing the act. He's forcing himself to be like, I got to be a dick to Ospreay because it's the title match, and I want him to know that I'm serious now. So he's like, this is not really him. It's just like he's really like, man, I kind of got to be a dick. So I can see a scenario to where the Death Riders do kind of come out. They kind of fight him off, and then like maybe Ospreay kind of takes advantage of a situation, hits him with the with the Tiger Driver, and maybe it puts him away that way. I could definitely see that too.
Yeah, and that could lead to a tag match. But also you've got another really big pop moment where if the Death Riders come out, Moxley, Claudio, Pac, and Shafira, and they all start beating them down, you could have the wife of Ospreay then come out and start beating off Shafira as well. There's lots of big moments they could do, and I've got to say they've got themselves. Normally with E, we say they've kind of, well, at least when Vince was there, they always book themselves into a corner, so there's only one way out. They've booked this in a way. There's so many different kind of scenarios you can play, and this is where with Japanese wrestling, sort of one-on-one or tag, world championship on the line, and the build-up is 6 or 8 man tags, and that's quality. That's perfect. We love that. But when Western wrestling is done right, you should have a main event where you're like, in principle, there's a guy who clearly should win. But because of other characters in this TV show story, it could go any direction. And TK's got a really big decision to make, and I hope he makes a good one, and I hope it's one that leads into really big things and as the year concludes.
I agree with you 100%, LK. And two, as you're talking, I'm thinking, man, another thing, they could actually have a potential to like not kind of wrap up, but kind of put this in another scenario too, because we also know that Ospreay has had tension with Callum Newman and members of the United Empire as well. I also could see a scenario to where Death Riders are there, because I believe some members are in England, for, I don't know if some might be used for the show. Some might be to just be there, Maybe some are taking bookings as well. So I'm like, hey man, that would be kind of weird if like, hey, Death Riders come out and they're getting ready to attack Ospreay or whatever, but then you get the United Empire coming out and they're like, oh, you can either have one or two things happen. They just kind of either one, just leave the ring and let the Death Riders beat him up, or two, they just all just beat up Ospreay and then leave him as for the pickings for Kenny Omega, kind of solidifying Kenny Omega as a further heel now. And I know that's that's very Russo booking, but I'm like, okay, then you could have an Ospreay that's like, you know what, I got to take out both of these groups now. I got to take out the United Empire and I got to take out the Death Rider. So maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but I'm just like, man, they can do that too. So you're right. They got a lot of ways they can do this.
And Callum Newman is in London the night before at the Rev Pro 14-year anniversary show. He's teaming with Danny Black, Joe Lando, and Maverick Mayhem, taking on Kieran Lacey, Mark True, and Will Cavan in an 8-man tag. So you could have that. You could have the Death Riders come out, beat on Ospreay. The Empire music hits, everyone thinks, oh, they really made the save. Bam, they're all teaming up on poor William Ospreay. Oh man, they got options. What a lucky position. They actually have fucking options. You watch this just be a standard straight one-on-one traditional wrestling match.
Yeah, I'm just ready for it. Okay, I'm ready. So, like I said, I think Omega's retaining, and I think it's going to be one of those methods that I said. Like you're going to be in the building, I'm going to be watching it at my friend's house with my eyes glued to the TV. Probably going to have a gentleman's mimosa, definitely some breakfast, man. It's going to be a good day, good morning, whatever time you're watching for pro wrestling. And also, too, on my tablet, I'm probably going to have NXT. What is it? Heatwave? Whatever NXT. I know NXT got a show too Sunday as well. I'm probably going to be watching that too as well. So, but
That's
yeah,
on
man.
after. That's on after, isn't it?
I think that comes on at like 3 p.m. Eastern time, so about like 8 your time. So it's probably I think the show All In will probably be like at least 2 hours in by that point, at least, or about like an hour and a half or something like that.
Okay. I completely forgot. The show. What's also before we go, what would you classify? You're going for your breakfast banquet. What is Dion's American breakfast banquet? What will you be eating? So when I'm there, I'm a few beers in, I want to think, just as the show starts, what is Dion eating?
Oh man, so of course we're gonna have pancakes there. We're gonna have bacon. There's gonna be breakfast potatoes. They have eggs. I'm not the biggest egg guy, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. There'll be eggs there. We all have stuff to make our own breakfast burritos. Yeah, it's gonna just be a smorgasbord of food, man. At the breakfast sausages as well. So yeah, it's just this thing. Just visualize all that stuff, man. It's gonna be very, very good because one of my best friends, his wife is a great cook, so it's gonna be amazing.
You know what? That's actually brilliant. Um, that's what I picture, like America. Like if I was ever to move to America, that's what I'd picture life to be like. You go around your friends or your families, and you kind of all have your breakfast together, and then on a normal NFL Sunday, you have breakfast. You then go out in the back, turn the barbecue on, have some chicken wings, have some hot dogs, have some beer, and watch the NFL. That's at least that's my personal American dream.
To me, you just described a perfect Thanksgiving here. That's that's literally what Thanksgiving is here. Like that's yeah, that I've had many of Thanksgivings like that, man. So, but yeah, some Sundays we get it in for sure. So, definitely getting in that football that's coming up. So, yeah, man, this be on the lookout for that. But be on the lookout for AEW All In. Hopefully, you checked out this preview, man, because I had a damn good time recording with my brother LK. So, LK, is there anything you want to say before we wrap this thing up?
No, it's been good fun doing an AEW show. Obviously, after doing so many New Japan shows, it's nice to be able to jump back into some AEW. Looking forward to the show. Hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully your breakfast banquet will be good. Um, love potato. What you call potato, we call hash browns, which is funny because that's what we used to call Yoshihashi. So you'll be eating Yoshihashi as you delve into that man.
Oh,
Gauntlet.
He's one of New Japan's elder statesmen at this point. So I mean, shout out to Yoshi. The hash man rules all now. So he's like, hey, now y'all listen to me. He's like, I'm senpai now. They're like, bro, chill. They're like, no, you're not. You're still not. You're a good wrestler, Yoshihashi, but you're still not the senpai.
No, down well worth it.
All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is. SOS Wrestle Talk. Y'all know. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend and tell a friend. And that subscription price is free 99. It won't cost you a damn thing. I'm sure LKL and I will link up a time to do the All In review. We're gonna let him recover because he's probably gonna have he gonna be probably having a really good time. So we're gonna let him recover and then we'll figure that out. And yeah, we'll holler at y'all soon. So peace.